I surveyed 200 women between 45 and 70. I asked one question. When you see a man over 60 who clearly still lifts, what do you notice first? 83% gave the same answer. And it wasn't his biceps. It wasn't his abs. It was something most men are quietly losing after 50. And if you stay to the end, I'll tell you exactly what it is. Quick check-in. Where are you watching from? Drop your city in the comments. Now look around your gym. If you're 60 or closing in on it, how many men your age actually look strong? Not bulky, just solid, capable, like their body still belongs to them. Most guys can count them on one hand. And that's the real question. Why are there so few strong, muscular men over 60? It's not genetics. It's not bad luck. It's not aging. It's a system, a drop-off. A quiet surrender that happens year by year. And in this video, I'm going to show you the real reason it happens, the 3 lies that keep men weak, and the exact approach that works after 60 without destroying your joints. No fluff, just what actually holds up in real life. Let's start with what's happening to your body right now. Because if you don't understand the stakes, you won't take action. After 60, muscle doesn't disappear with a siren. It disappears quietly. You make small adjustments. You stop carrying the heavy box. You save your back. You take the elevator. You sit down more. You avoid the floor. And none of it feels dramatic. Until one day, something simple becomes hard. You climb stairs and feel it. You stand up and feel it. You grab a suitcase and feel it. That invisible slide has a name. Sarcopenia, age-related muscle loss. And no, this isn't just about looking softer in the mirror. Muscle is not cosmetic. Muscle is insurance. Here's the chain reaction most men don't see coming. Less muscle means less stability. Less stability means worse balance. Worse balance means a higher risk of falls. And after 60, a fall isn't embarrassing. A fall can be life-changing. I've seen it with clients. Men who were fine on paper, still working, still sharp, still independent. And then one bad moment. A slip, a misstep, a twisted knee. And suddenly, they're managing limitations. And here's the part that hits hard. Most men don't notice the decline until it shows up in their life. A guy told me, I stopped hiking with my grandkids because the trails got too hard. The trails didn't change. He did. That's what muscle loss does. It shrinks your world. And the saddest part is how quietly men accept it. Like it's inevitable. Like strength has an expiration date. Like your body is supposed to fall apart on schedule. It doesn't have to be that way. Your body still adapts after 60. It adapts slower, but it still adapts. Older adults can build real strength in a matter of weeks. Not for your age, strength, real measurable improvement. So if the biology still works, why do so few men actually follow through? Because of 3 lies, and once you see them clearly, you'll never unhear them again. Lie number 1, I'm too old to build muscle. This one sounds reasonable, because you feel different now. Recovery is slower. Your joints talk back. Your energy isn't what it was. So you assume the window is closed, but muscle is built by stimulus, not by youth. If the stimulus is appropriate, your body responds. The truth is simple. You can't train like you're 35, but you can build muscle. You just need a smarter plan. And that's what most men never learn because they quit before they get good. Lie number 2, it's too dangerous at my age. Let's be honest. You're not wrong to respect injury. An injury after 60 costs more. It costs time, sleep, confidence, momentum. But here's what's backwards. Doing nothing is not safe. Inactivity is the quiet killer. Your joints need load to stay healthy. Your bones need stress signals to stay dense. Your connective tissue needs movement. The risk isn't lifting weights. The risk is lifting weights badly, going too heavy too fast, skipping warm-ups, trying to impress someone, ignoring pain signals, training with ego instead of strategy. That's dangerous. But progressive resistance training done with control is protective. It makes you more stable, harder to break, more resilient when life hits you. Lie number 3, I don't want to look like a bodybuilder. This one is almost funny because it reveals how little people understand muscle. You don't accidentally become huge. Building serious muscle takes years. It takes structure. It takes nutrition. And for some physiques, it takes chemical help. You are not going to wake up looking like an action figure because you did squats twice a week. What you're building is functional strength, a body that feels capable, a posture that looks confident, a frame that fills out a shirt, solid forearms, a stronger back, A walk that doesn't look apologetic. That's the goal. And most men underestimate how much muscle they've already lost. So the thing that feels too much to you often looks normal to everybody else. So those are the 3 lies. But underneath those lies is something harder to admit. Fear. Fear of looking foolish. Fear of being the oldest guy in the weight room. Fear of starting over. Because lifting after 60 forces you to become a beginner again. And most men would rather protect their pride than rebuild their body. That's why the gym is full of younger men and empty of older men who look strong. Not because older men can't, because older men won't be seen learning. So let's get practical. What actually works after 60? Here's the rule. If you remember one thing from this entire video, remember this. Frequency beats intensity. Most men over 60 don't need more hard. They need more consistent. Stop trying to annihilate yourself 3 times a week. Stop trying to earn your progress with suffering. Instead, do more sessions with less fatigue. 4 or 5 shorter sessions. Beats 3 brutal workouts. Why? Because your recovery is slower now, but your body still responds to repeated signals. You want stimulus you can repeat, not a workout that takes you out for 5 days. And here's how you structure it. You need movement patterns, not a list of fancy exercises. A squat pattern, a hinge pattern, a push, a pull, a carry, and some core stability. That's it. Those patterns build a durable body, and compound lifts are the best return on effort because they train strength and coordination at the same time. You don't need to live on machines. You don't need a perfect program. You need the basics done consistently, and you need to warm up every time. Not because you're fragile, because you're valuable. 5 to 8 minutes. Mobility, light sets, ramp up gradually. That's insurance. Now let's talk about intensity. After 60, you don't need to train to failure every set. That's a young man's ego game. Leave a little in the tank. Finish your sets feeling like you could do 2 more reps. That keeps joints happier, keeps recovery manageable, keeps you consistent. Because consistency is what builds muscle now. Not heroic effort. Next pillar, protein. After 60, protein isn't a nice to have. It's a requirement. And most older men undereat it, not because they're lazy, because they don't realize they need more than they think. Your body becomes less efficient at using protein with age. So distribution matters. Don't do one big protein dinner and nothing the rest of the day. Hit a meaningful dose at breakfast, again at lunch, again at dinner. Simple, boring, effective. If you're not sure where to start, just do this. Every meal, ask one question: where is my protein? That one habit fixes more than people want to admit. Next pillar, sleep. If your sleep is trash, your results will be trash. That's not motivational. That's biology. Sleep is where tissue repairs, where recovery happens, where your nervous system calms down. If you're sleeping 5 hours a night, you're trying to build a house during a hurricane. So if you want your training to work, protect your sleep like it's part of your program. Because it is. Now let me warn you about something. That wipes out most men right before it starts working. It's not physical, it's psychological. It happens around week 5, 6, or 7, and it's the reason most men quit. I call it the dropout phase. Here's what the dropout phase looks like. The newness wears off. You're sore more often than you like. Progress slows down. Some sessions feel worse than the last, and a voice starts whispering. Maybe this isn't for me anymore. Maybe I'm too old. Maybe I missed my chance. That voice is not wisdom. It's fear wearing a lab coat. And then the comparison trap snaps shut. You look around the gym, younger guys moving heavier weight, recovering faster, putting on visible muscle in half the time, and you feel behind. So you either do something stupid to catch up, or you quit to protect your pride. Both are mistakes. Because progress after 60 does not look like progress at 30. At 30, you can add weight every week and feel great. At 60, some weeks you maintain. Some weeks you repeat, some weeks you back off. That's not failure, that's reality. And the men who win after 60 accept reality instead of fighting it. Let me give you the mindset that survives this phase. The dropout phase is the test. Can you show up when it's boring? Can you show up when nobody notices? Can you show up when the scale hasn't moved? Can you show up when your lifts feel stagnant? Because that's the moment your identity gets built, not in the hype, in the repetition. I watched my dad go through this. He started lifting in his late 60s. And he did what most men do. He refused to modify anything. He pushed like he was still 40, same intensity, same ego, and then his shoulder gave out. not in the gym, reaching for groceries. That was the moment he finally understood it. Strength isn't about ego, it's about autonomy. So he started over, lighter loads, slower progressions, more recovery. And within months, he wasn't just stronger. He moved better than he had in years. That's the point. Training after 60 isn't punishment, it's protection. It's building a body that can handle life. Now here's what happens. When you survive the dropout phase, something shifts. First, your posture changes. Shoulders back, chest up, not because you're trying to pose, because your body is strong enough to hold itself. Then people treat you differently. Not because you look like a bodybuilder, because you look capable. And capability reads as authority. Your presence changes. You move through space like you belong there, like you're not apologizing for taking up room. You don't have to talk about it. Your body says it for you. And you stop feeling fragile. That background anxiety, the quiet fear that your body might give out, starts to fade. You stop second-guessing every movement. You stop avoiding activities. You stop managing decline. You start living. One of my clients told me something that stuck. I didn't realize I'd been shrinking myself until I stood up straight again. That's not a gym transformation. That's a life transformation. Because this isn't really about muscle. It's about independence, dignity, the ability to do what you want. Without asking for help, strength gives you options. Weakness takes them away. And the men who understand this don't stop at 70. They don't stop at 75. They keep showing up because they're not hoping their body holds up. They're making sure it does. Now remember the survey. 200 women, 83%. What did they notice first? About the man over 60 who still lifts? Presence. Not biceps, not absolute. Presence. The way he carries himself, the way he moves, the way he takes up space without apologizing, that's what strength gives you. And that's what most men give up quietly, without realizing it. But you're still here, which means you're not most men. So do one thing today, not tomorrow. Today, one set, one walk into the gym, one meal with real protein, one decision that says, I'm not done. If you're over 60 and you're training consistently, comment your age and how long you've been lifting. Give someone a reason to start. And if you're committing today, comment 2 words. Not done. Follow and subscribe for real talk on building strength that lasts. No hype, no fluff, just what works.